The alarm started softly at first, then grew louder. Captain Tae-hyun opened his eyes and stared at the ceiling of his quarters. The red warning lights painted everything in shades of blood. He had been dreaming about home, about the small apartment in Seoul where his mother still lived. Now, he was awake. And something was very wrong. He rolled out of bed and grabbed his uniform jacket. His fingers moved quickly over the buttons as he walked toward the door. The ship trembled slightly under his feet. Not an explosion. Not a malfunction. Something else. "Captain to the bridge," the intercom crackled. It was Hae-won, his first officer. Her voice was calm. But Tae-hyun had worked with her for 3 years. He could hear the tension hiding underneath. "On my way," he said, breaking into a run. The steel petrel was not a warship. It was a cargo hauler, built for carrying mining equipment and supplies to the outer colonies. The corridors were narrow and lined with pipes. Tae-hyun's boots echoed on the metal floor as he ran. He passed a window and saw it. A massive ship hung in space beside them, dark and angular like a knife. It was easily 10 times their size. The bridge was small and crowded. Hae-won stood at the tactical station, her hands moving across the controls. The pilot, Woo-jin, sat frozen at his console. The young communications officer, Ji-woo, had his headset pressed tight against his ear. Dr. Yuna stood near the medical station, her face pale. "Report," Tae-hyun said, sliding into his captain's chair. "Unknown vessel dropped out of faster-than-light travel 2 minutes ago," Hae-won said. "They're scanning us. Deep scans. They're reading our hull, our cargo, our crew." She paused. "They're reading our biology." Tae-hyun felt his heart speed up. His hands gripped the armrests. "Have they made contact?" "Not yet," Ji-woo said. "But Captain, I'm picking up communications between their ship and what looks like a fleet. They're speaking in a language the computer doesn't recognize, but it's translating slowly." "What are they saying?" Ji-woo listened, his face growing worried. "They're talking about us. About humans. They're calling us. I think the word translates to soft skins. Or maybe weak flesh." "It's not friendly, sir." The main screen flickered. A face appeared. It was not human. The creature had gray skin stretched tight over a narrow skull. Its eyes were large and dark, with no visible pupils. Its mouth was a thin line, with too many teeth showing. When it spoke, the computer translated the words into Korean, with a slight delay. "Unidentified vessel. You are in territory claimed by the Velkarn Empire. You will stop your engines. You will prepare to be boarded. You will surrender all cargo and crew for inspection." Tae-hyun stood slowly. He kept his face neutral. "This is Captain Tae-hyun, of the human cargo vessel Steel Petrel. We are in neutral space according to all registered star charts. We mean no harm, and are simply passing through on our trade route." The alien's face did not change. "Your charts are old. This space now belongs to the Velkarn. You will comply or be destroyed." The screen went black. "They've locked weapons on us," Hae-won said quietly. "Energy signatures are building. Captain, if they fire, our shields won't hold for more than 30 seconds. Tae-hyun's mind raced. The Steel Petrel had basic defensive shields meant to protect against space debris and radiation. Against a military warship, they were useless. They had no weapons, no armor, no way to fight. The intercom beeped. "Captain, this is Sang-woo in engineering." The chief engineer's voice was rough from sleep. "I'm reading massive energy spikes from that ship. What's going on?" "We're being boarded," Tae-hyun said. "Get down here." "Give me 5 minutes," Sang-woo said. "I need to secure the reactor." Dong-woo's voice came through next. The security chief sounded wide awake. "Captain, my team is ready. What are your orders?" Tae-hyun looked at his crew. Hae-won's jaw was set, her eyes hard. Woo-jin's hands trembled slightly on the controls. Ji-woo was sweating. Dr. Yuna met his gaze and nodded slowly. "We're a cargo ship," Tae-hyun said carefully. "Not a warship." We follow protocol. We appear to cooperate. Appear to? Haewon asked. Buy time, Taehyun said. Ji-woo, can you get a message out? A distress call? They're jamming most frequencies, Ji-woo said. But there's a narrow band they might have missed. It's old tech. Slow. If I send a burst transmission, it might get through before they notice. Do it. Send our position and situation to the nearest human outpost. That's 3 days away at fastest travel, Haewon said. I know. Taehyun sat back down. Sang-woo, how long until you're here? 2 minutes. The alien ship moved closer. It was so large it blocked out the stars. Taehyun could see details now. Weapon ports. Launch bays. Scorch marks from previous battles. Captain, Dr. Yuna said softly. When they scanned us, what do you think they found? Our biology, Taehyun said. Our heart rates. Our chemical composition. My medical sensors show elevated adrenaline across the entire crew, Yuna said. Increased cortisol. Higher blood pressure. To another species, that might look like fear. Haewon turned from her station. Is that what they think? That we're afraid? Maybe, Yuna said. But these hormones don't just mean fear. They mean our bodies are preparing. For action. For survival. Humans produce these chemicals when we need to fight or run. When we need to be stronger, faster, more focused. Sang-woo arrived on the bridge, out of breath. He was a large man with oil stains on his coveralls. What did I miss? What did I miss? We're about to have visitors, Taehyun said. Unfriendly ones. The screen flickered again. The alien commander appeared. Your ship will be boarded in 60 seconds. All crew will gather in your main cargo bay. Any resistance will result in immediate execution. The Velkarn Empire has claimed 73 species. You will be the 74th. This is your only warning. The screen went dark. 60 seconds. Taehyun stood. All crew, this is the captain. We have hostile boarders incoming. Follow Protocol 7. I repeat, Protocol 7. Haewon's eyes widened slightly. Protocol 7 was not a surrender protocol. It was a defensive preparation disguised as compliance. Sir, Woojin said, they're launching a boarding craft. It's heading for our main airlock. Taehyun watched the small ship cross the distance between vessels. It moved with confidence. The Velkarn thought this would be easy. They had scanned the humans and decided they were weak. Frightened, easy prey. Let them think that, Taehyun said quietly. Sir? Ji-woo asked. Nothing. Taehyun straightened his uniform. Haewon, you have the bridge. Sang-woo, with me. We're going to meet our guests. As they walked toward the cargo bay, Sang-woo spoke. Captain, what's the play here? We're going to survive, Taehyun said. They scanned us. They saw our stress hormones and thought we were afraid. He smiled, but it was not a happy smile. They made a mistake. They're about to learn what humans look like when we're ready for a fight. The airlock alarm began to sound. The boarding party was about to breach. Taehyun took a deep breath. His heart was pounding. His muscles were tense. Every part of his body was screaming at him to act, to move, to survive. The Velkarn had scanned the wrong species. And they were about to find out why that was a fatal mistake. The airlock door hissed and began to open. Taehyun stood in the cargo bay with Sang-woo and 12 other crew members. They had positioned themselves according to Protocol 7. To anyone watching, they looked like frightened civilians huddled together. But each person knew their role. Each person was ready. The first Velkarn stepped through the airlock. It was tall, nearly 7 feet, with long limbs and that same gray skin. It wore armor that looked organic, like it had been grown rather than built. In its hands was a weapon that hummed with energy. More Velkarn followed. 10, 15. 20 soldiers poured into the cargo bay. The leader stepped forward. Through his helmet speaker, his words were translated. You are now property of the Velkarn Empire. You will obey all commands. You will not resist. Resistance means death. Taehyun raised his hands slowly, palms out. "We understand. We are not soldiers, just cargo workers. Please, we don't want trouble." The Velkarn leader's teeth showed in what might have been a smile. "Good. Your species learns quickly. Show me your captain." "I'm the captain," Taehyun said. The Velkarn studied him. "You are small. Weak. Your scan showed high stress. Fear chemicals. You are prey species, not warriors." "You're right," Taehyun said. "We're not warriors. Then this will be easy." The Velkarn leader gestured to his soldiers. "Search the ship. Take all valuable cargo. Round up all crew. We will sell them to the mining worlds." The Velkarn soldiers began to spread out. 3 moved toward the corridor leading to engineering. 4 moved toward the crew quarters. The others started examining the cargo containers. Dongwoo stood among the crew, dressed in simple work clothes. He looked like any other cargo handler. He caught Taehyun's eye. Taehyun nodded once, very slightly. It happened fast. Dongwoo moved to the nearest Velkarn soldier. His hand came up holding a heavy wrench. He swung it hard into the alien's helmet. The Velkarn staggered, confused. It had not expected an attack from a prey species. Sangwoo hit the wall panel behind him. The cargo bay lights went out. Emergency red lights came on, casting everything in darkness and shadow. The Velkarn soldiers shouted in confusion. "Contact! They're fighting back!" one of them yelled. The cargo bay erupted into chaos. The human crew scattered, each person running to their assigned position. They had worked on this ship for months or years. They knew every pipe, every hatch, every hiding spot. The Velkarn did not. Taehyun dropped to the floor and rolled behind a cargo container. A Velkarn fired at where he had been standing. The energy bolt hit the wall, leaving a burning scar. Taehyun reached up and pulled a lever. The cargo container's magnetic clamps released. 2 tons of mining equipment slid across the tilted floor, slamming into 3 Velkarn soldiers. Haewon's voice came through the emergency speakers. "All crew, this is the bridge. Initiating defensive protocols. Sealing sections 3 through 7. Heavy blast doors began to drop throughout the ship. 4 Velkarn soldiers were cut off in the engineering section. 3 more were trapped in the crew quarters. The boarding party was suddenly split into isolated groups. The Velkarn leader spun around, trying to track Taehyun. "You dare! You are prey! You are weak! We're humans," Taehyun shouted back. "And you made a mistake." Dongwoo appeared from behind another container. He had a plasma cutter, a tool used for slicing through metal. He fired it at a Velkarn soldier. The beam cut through the alien's armor. The Velkarn screamed and fell. "They're using tools as weapons," another Velkarn shouted. "They're insane." Dr. Yuna had reached a wall panel. She pulled it open and grabbed the emergency medical kit. Inside were not just bandages and medicine. There were chemical compounds used for sterilization and emergency surgery. She poured 3 different chemicals into a container, shook it, and threw it at a group of Velkarn. The container burst, releasing a cloud of vapor. The Velkarn began coughing and stumbling. Their eyes watered. Their skin burned. "Poison," one of them gasped. "They're using poison." "It's cleaning solution," Yuna shouted. "Basic chemistry." Sangwoo reached the environmental controls. He began to adjust the air mixture. The oxygen level dropped slightly. The temperature rose. For humans, it was uncomfortable. For the Velkarn, who had evolved on a cooler planet with different atmospheric pressure, it was disorienting. On the bridge, Haewon worked frantically at the tactical station. She had been a military officer before joining the cargo service. She had not forgotten her training. Woo Jin, full reverse thrusters. Make them work for it. The steel patrol lurched backward. In the cargo bay, several Velkarn lost their footing. They had not expected the ship to move. Humans, used to the ship's movements, had braced themselves. The Velkarn leader raised his weapon and fired wildly. Energy bolts scorched the walls. One hit a fuel line. It burst, spraying liquid across the floor. Sang-woo saw it and smiled grimly. He hit another control. An electrical spark jumped from an exposed panel. The fuel ignited. Fire bloomed across the cargo bay floor. The Velkarn screamed and jumped back. They had not expected fire. They had not expected any of this. "Retreat!" the Velkarn leader shouted. "Back to the airlock!" But the humans were not done. Dongwu and his security team had positioned themselves between the Velkarn and their escape route. They held improvised weapons. Welding torches, magnetic clamps, even simple metal pipes. They were not soldiers. But they were humans. And they were angry. A Velkarn soldier charged at Dongwu. It was faster than a human, stronger than a human. But Dongwu did not try to match its strength for strength. He dropped low, used the alien's momentum against it, and swept its legs. The Velkarn crashed to the floor. Dongwu brought a pipe down on its helmet. Once. Twice. The Velkarn stopped moving. "How are they doing this?" A Velkarn soldier shouted. The scans showed they were weak. Tae-hyun climbed on top of a cargo container, making himself visible. His face was covered in soot. His jacket was torn. He looked down at the Velkarn leader. "Your scans showed our stress response. You thought it was fear. You were wrong. What is it then?" The Velkarn leader demanded. "It's what we look like when we're ready to survive," Tae-hyun said. "It's what millions of years of evolution gave us. When humans are threatened, our bodies prepare us to fight. We get faster, stronger, more focused. You scanned us and saw prey. You should have seen predators." The Velkarn leader aimed his weapon at Tae-hyun. Before he could fire, Sang-woo hit another control. The cargo bay's outer door alarm began to sound. The Velkarn all turned, fear showing in their dark eyes. "You wouldn't," the Velkarn leader said. "You'd kill yourselves too." "Maybe," Tae-hyun said calmly. "Or maybe we've sealed ourselves in protective sections, and you're the only ones still in the cargo bay. Want to find out?" The Velkarn looked around. The human crew had vanished. Only the Velkarn soldiers remained in the bay, standing near the outer door. The Velkarn leader's weapon lowered slightly. "You're bluffing. Try me," Tae-hyun said. For a long moment, no one moved. Then the Velkarn leader spoke into his communicator. "Commander Thelrock, this is boarding party Alpha. Mission is complicated. The humans are resisting. We need extraction." A voice responded from the Velkarn warship, angry and confused. "Resisting?" The scans showed they were a prey species. "Weak. Fearful." "The scans were wrong, sir," the Velkarn leader said. "These humans are. They're fighting like cornered animals. We've taken casualties. I've lost 8 soldiers." "8?" The commander's voice was shocked. "From a cargo crew? They're using everything as weapons, sir. Tools, chemicals, even the ship itself. And they're not afraid. They should be afraid. But they're not." "Hold position," Thelrock ordered. "I'm sending reinforcements, and I'm charging weapons. If we cannot take the ship, we will destroy it." Tae-hyun heard this through the open communication channel. His jaw tightened. Ji-woo's voice came through his earpiece. "Captain, the distress call got through. But help is 3 days away." 3 days. They would not last 3 days against a warship. "Understood," Tae-hyun said quietly. He looked down at the Velkarn leader. "Your commander is going to destroy this ship. That means you die too." Tae-hyun, the Velkarn leader said nothing. But Tae-hyun could see the calculation in his eyes. "Here's what's going to happen," Tae-hyun said. "You're going to take your soldiers and leave. Get back to your ship. Then you're going to leave our space and never come back." "Or what?" the Velkarn leader asked. "Or we make this expensive for you," Tae-hyun said. "Your commander wants to destroy us? Fine. But we'll make sure you lose more soldiers first. And then we'll ram our ship into yours. Our reactor is already unstable. Sang-woo made sure of that. If we hit you at full speed with a critical reactor, it'll take a chunk out of your warship. maybe even destroy it. It was a bluff, mostly. But the Velkarn did not know that. The boarding party retreated slowly, weapons still raised. They backed toward the airlock. The Velkarn leader kept his eyes on Tae-hyun until the last moment. Then they were through, and the airlock sealed behind them. Tae-hyun let out a breath he had not realized he was holding. "Damage report," he said into his communicator. 3 injured. Dr. Yuna reported. "No fatalities." "Captain, we actually did it. We drove them off. For now," Haewon said from the bridge. "But their warship is still out there. And they're charging weapons." Tae-hyun climbed down from the container. His hands were shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. "Then we're not done yet. Not even close." The bridge was quiet except for the steady beeping of the warning alarms. Tae-hyun stood at the center, watching the Velkarn warship on the main screen. Lights were building along its hull. Weapon ports were opening. They had maybe 2 minutes before the aliens fired. "Options," Tae-hyun said. Haewon did not look up from her console. "We can't outrun them. Their ship is faster. We can't outfight them. Their weapons will cut through our shields in seconds. We can't hide. They're tracking us with multiple sensor arrays. So we're dead," Woojin said quietly. "No," Dr. Yuna said. She stood near the medical station, holding a data pad. "Not yet. Captain, when I treated the wounded from the boarding party, I scanned the Velkarn soldiers we captured. I found something interesting." "Tell me," Tae-hyun said. "Their biology is different from ours in important ways," Yuna explained. "They evolved on a planet with lower gravity and thicker atmosphere. Their reflexes are actually slower than ours. Their inner ear structure is simple. They can't handle rapid changes in movement or pressure." Sang-woo looked up from the engineering station. "What does that mean?" "It means they get disoriented easily," Yuna said. "What feels like normal ship movement to us would make them sick. Extreme maneuvers would be even worse." Tae-hyun felt a spark of hope. "Woojin, how good a pilot are you?" Woojin turned in his chair. He looked young and scared, but his voice was steady. "I trained on atmospheric fighters before I became a cargo pilot. I can fly anything." "But Captain, this is a cargo ship. It's not built for combat maneuvers." "Can you make it dance?" Tae-hyun asked. A slow smile spread across Woojin's face. "I can try. But if I push the engines too hard, we'll tear the ship apart." "Let me worry about the engines," Sung-woo said. He was already pulling up system diagrams. "I can reinforce the structural supports. Buy us maybe 10 minutes of hard flying before things start breaking." 10 minutes, Tae-hyun said. "We need to make them count." "Ji-woo, any response to our distress call?" The young communications officer shook his head. "Nothing yet, Captain. Even if someone heard us, they're still days away. Then we survive on our own." Tae-hyun sat in his captain's chair. "Here's what we're going to do. We can't fight them ship to ship. But we can make ourselves a hard target. Woo-jin, when they fire, you're going to move this ship like it's never moved before. Make them miss. Make them work for every shot." "And if they keep shooting?" Haewon asked. "Then we hit them back," Tae-hyun said. "Sang-woo, what cargo are we carrying?" Sang-woo pulled up the manifest. "Mining equipment. Construction drones. Industrial explosives for excavation. Chemical compounds for ore processing." "Why?" "Because cargo is just resources we haven't weaponized yet," Tae-hyun said. "Can we launch the cargo containers?" "The loading system is designed to dock with stations, not launch things into space," Sang-woo said slowly. "But if I override the safety protocols and vent the cargo bay..." He started calculating. "Yes. We can shoot them out. They won't be very accurate, though." "They don't need to be accurate," Haewon said, understanding dawning on her face. "We just need to fill space between us and them with debris. Make their targeting harder." "Exactly," Tae-hyun said. "And if we fill some containers with those industrial explosives and chemical compounds, we can create problems for them." 1 minute until they fire," Ji-woo announced. "Sang-woo, start loading containers," Tae-hyun ordered. "Woo-jin, Get ready. Hey 1. Target their weapon arrays. I know we don't have real weapons, but we have sensor lasers and navigation beacons. Fire everything that produces energy in their direction. Blind their sensors. Make it hard for them to aim. The crew moved. Sang-woo's hands flew across his console. Cargo bay doors opening. Loading first container now. It's filled with mining charges and liquid oxygen. If this hits them, it'll make a nice firework. On the screen, the Velkarn warship's weapons reached full charge. Taehyun gripped his chair. Here they come. Firing, Haewon shouted. Brilliant blue energy lanced across space. Woojin's hands moved on the controls. The steel petrol dropped suddenly. Engines screaming. The energy beam missed by meters. Taehyun's stomach lurched. His inner ear told him he was falling. The artificial gravity struggled to compensate. Launch cargo, Taehyun ordered. Sang-woo hit the release. The cargo container shot out of the bay, propelled by explosive decompression. It tumbled through space toward the Velkarn warship. They're firing again, Ji-woo warned. Woojin rolled the ship. The maneuver was harsh, violent. Taehyun heard metal groaning. But the second energy beam also missed. The cargo container exploded as the Velkarn point defense destroyed it. The mining explosives and liquid oxygen created a massive cloud of fire and debris. Their sensors are disrupted, Haewon reported. The explosion is blocking their targeting. Launch another, Taehyun said. Keep them blind. Container after container shot out of the cargo bay. Some were filled with explosives. Some with corrosive chemicals. Some were just empty metal boxes. It did not matter. Each one created another obstacle between the two ships. Captain, Sang-woo said. The structural supports are holding, but barely. The ship wasn't designed for this. If we keep this up, we'll shake ourselves apart. How long do we have? Taehyun asked. 5 minutes. Maybe 6. Then we have 5 minutes to make them regret attacking us. The Velkarn warship changed tactics. Instead of precise targeting, it began firing in a wide pattern, trying to catch the steel petrel no matter how it moved. Energy beams cut through space. One clipped the cargo ship's aft section. Alarms screamed. The lights flickered. Hull, breach on deck 3. Dongwoo reported from his security station. Sealing emergency doors. No casualties. We can't keep dodging forever, Haewon said. Taehyun watched the Velkarn ship. It was moving closer, trying to get a better angle. An idea formed. It was risky. Possibly suicidal. But they were running out of options. Sang-woo, Taehyun said. The construction drones we're carrying. Can you activate them? They're autonomous mining drones, Sang-woo said, designed to excavate asteroids. But yes, I can wake them up. Why? Wake them all, then program them to attach to the nearest large metal object. Sang-woo's eyes widened. Captain, you want to send mining drones to attack a warship? They're not weapons, Taehyun said. But they don't know that. And those drones have industrial lasers strong enough to cut through asteroid rock. Point them at the warship and let them do what they're designed to do. Dig. A grin spread across Sang-woo's face. That's crazy. I love it. Give me 30 seconds. The construction drones launched from the cargo bay. There were 20 of them, each the size of a small car. They were not fast, but they were persistent. Their programming was simple. Find metal, attach to it, start cutting. The Velkarn saw them coming. Their point defense opened fire, destroying 3 drones. But the others were small and scattered. Hard to track. One drone reached the warship's hull, its industrial laser activated. It began cutting into the armor. Direct hit on their sensor array, Haewon shouted. That drone just blinded one of their targeting systems. 2 more drones reached the hull. They attached like metal parasites and started cutting. The Velkarn ship began firing randomly at its own hull, trying to destroy the drones. They hit 2, but the others kept digging. They're panicking, Ji-woo said, listening to the Velkarn communications. Commander Thelrock is screaming at his crew. He's calling us. The translation is strange. Mad demons, or maybe insane warriors. He can't believe a cargo ship is fighting back like this. We're not insane, Dr. Yuna said quietly. We're just human. Incoming message from the Velkarn, Jiwoo announced. The screen flickered. Commander Thelrock appeared. His gray skin was darker, showing emotion. His teeth were bared. What are you? Your scans showed you were prey. You should be dead. You should have surrendered. Taehyun stood and faced the screen. You scanned us. You saw our biology. But you didn't understand what you were seeing. Those stress hormones you detected? That's not fear. That's our evolutionary response to danger. Humans evolved on a harsh world. When we're threatened, our bodies prepare us to fight. We get stronger. We get faster. We heal better. We don't give up. We are the Velkarn Empire, Thelrock shouted. We have conquered 73 species. Then you should have learned to recognize a dangerous species when you see one, Taehyun said. You picked the wrong ship. You scanned humans and decided we were weak because we showed stress. But humans don't just survive stress. We thrive on it. It makes us better. Another drone cut through a critical power line on the Velkarn ship. Sparks erupted across their hull. Their weapons powered down momentarily. I will destroy you, Thelrock raged. You can try, Taehyun said calmly. But every minute you fight us, you lose more systems. Your ship is bleeding. Your crew is injured. Your weapons are damaged. And you know what? We're just a cargo ship. Imagine what our military could do to you. There was a long silence. Thelrock's dark eyes stared at Taehyun. The Velkarn commander was making calculations, weighing costs. This isn't over, Thelrock finally said. The Velkarn Empire does not forget, does not forgive. Neither do humans, Taehyun replied. The screen went black. The Velkarn warship began to turn away. Slowly at first, then faster. Its engines flared to life. It was retreating. Captain, Jiwoo said urgently. I'm picking up multiple new contacts. FTL signatures. Something big is jumping into the system. Taehyun felt his heart skip. Velkarn reinforcements? No, sir. Jiwoo's face broke into a smile. It's human. 3 signatures. Military vessels. Captain. The cavalry is here. The bridge erupted in cheers. Haewon slumped in her chair, relief washing over her face. Sangwoo laughed and wiped sweat from his forehead. Woojin let his head fall back, exhausted. On the screen, 3 human warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. They were smaller than the Velkarn ship, but sleek and purpose-built. Destroyers. Made for combat. The Velkarn warship saw them and accelerated. It wanted no part of a fight with actual human military vessels. Incoming message, Jiwoo said. A new face appeared on screen. A woman in a crisp military uniform with admiral's insignia. She looked at the damaged cargo ship. At the debris field. At the retreating Velkarn warship. This is Admiral Haejin of the Human Defense Fleet, she said. We received your distress call. Looks like you've been busy. Taehyun laughed despite himself. Just trying to stay alive, Admiral. Thank you for coming. Thank us later, Haejin said. First, let's have a conversation with your new friends about respecting human space. Her image vanished as her ships moved to intercept the Velkarn. The Velkarn warship tried to run. Its engines burned bright as it attempted to reach minimum safe distance for a faster-than-light jump, but the human destroyers were faster. They moved like hunting wolves, surrounding their prey from 3 sides. Target is attempting to flee, one of the destroyer captains reported to Admiral Haejin. Should we pursue? Haejin's voice came through clear and cold. Negative. Move to intercept position and disable their engines. I want them stopped. Not destroyed. Not yet. Taehyun watched from the bridge of the steel patrel. His crew gathered around him, exhausted but alert. They had survived. But the battle was not over. Sir, Jiwoo said quietly. The Velkarn ship has 12 of our people on board. The boarding party that retreated earlier. They're prisoners. Taehyun felt anger rise in his chest. Hae-won, open a channel to Admiral Hae-jin. Done, Captain. Admiral, this is Captain Taehyun of the Steel Patrol. The Velkarn have 12 of my crew as prisoners. They were captured during the boarding action. Hae-jin's face appeared on screen. She nodded slowly. Understood. We'll get them back. The Velkarn commander made a mistake, attacking a human vessel. He's about to learn the consequences. The human destroyers opened fire, not with weapons meant to destroy, but with precise strikes designed to disable. Energy beams cut through the Velkarn ship's engine array. Explosions blossomed across their aft section. The warship shuddered to a halt. Dead in space. Target disabled. A destroyer captain reported. They have no propulsion. No weapons. Shields are down. They're helpless. Good, Hae-jin said. Now let's talk to them. Open a channel to their commander. If Commander Thelrock's face appeared on the screen. He looked different now. His arrogant posture was gone. His dark eyes showed something Taehyun had not seen before. Fear. Commander, Hae-jin said. Her voice was calm but carried an edge like a knife. You attacked a human civilian vessel in neutral space. You boarded them. You attempted to enslave the crew. This is an act of war. We thought, Thelrock began. You thought they were weak, Hae-jin interrupted. You scanned them. You saw stress hormones and decided they were prey. You made assumptions. Those assumptions were wrong. Your species is new to this region of space, Thelrock said, trying to recover his composure. The Velkarn Empire has claimed this territory. You cannot. We can, Hae-jin said simply. And we will. You picked a fight with humans, Commander. That was your first mistake. Your second was not recognizing what you were dealing with. On the Steel Patrol's bridge, Dr. Yuna stepped forward. Captain, may I speak? Taehyun gestured to the communications officer. Ji-woo. Patch Dr. Yuna into the channel. Yuna took a breath and addressed the screen. Commander Thelrock. I'm Dr. Yuna, medical officer of the Steel Patrol. When your soldiers boarded us, I scanned them. I learned about your biology. Your species evolved on a world with low gravity and thick atmosphere. You're physically strong, but your reflexes are slow. You have limited experience with rapid environmental changes. What is your point? Thelrock demanded. My point is that you scanned us and misunderstood the data, Yuna said. You saw elevated adrenaline, cortisol, and other stress hormones. You interpreted this as fear. But for humans, these chemicals don't just signal fear. They're our combat enhancement system. When humans face danger, our bodies literally change to make us better fighters. She pulled up a holographic display showing human biology. Our heart rate increases, pumping more blood to our muscles. Our pupils dilate, improving vision. Our pain tolerance increases, our thinking speeds up. Our muscles get stronger. We become faster, more focused, more aggressive. This is what millions of years of evolution as persistence hunters gave us. Persistence hunters, Thelrock said. What is that? Humans evolved by chasing prey until it collapsed from exhaustion, Sang-woo said, joining the conversation. We're not the fastest or strongest. But we don't stop. We keep coming. We heal from injuries that would kill most species. We can go days without food or water. We can survive temperature extremes. And when we're pushed to our limits, we don't break. We get creative. Taehyun stood and faced the screen. Your soldiers boarded my ship expecting easy prey. Instead, they found humans who turned every tool into a weapon. We used mining equipment, cleaning chemicals, even our ship's basic systems against you. You lost 8 soldiers to a cargo crew, Commander. Not because we're warriors. Because we're survivors. Thelrock's jaw clenched. You fight like animals. With no honor. No rules. We fight like humans. Hae-won said coldly. And we win. Admiral Heijin leaned forward. Commander, let me explain something about human history. We evolved on a death world. A planet with extreme weather, dangerous predators, and scarce resources. We survived by being adaptable, by working together, by refusing to give up. Every human alive today is descended from survivors. It's in our DNA. She gestured to another screen showing the steel petrel. That cargo ship you attacked? It's not a warship. The crew are civilians, traders, engineers, doctors, and they drove you off. They damaged your ship. They made you retreat. Now imagine what would happen if you faced actual human military forces. Dongwu stepped into view. His security uniform was torn and bloody. But he stood straight. I was a soldier before I joined this crew. I've fought in 3 conflicts. Want to know why humans win wars, Commander? Because we don't fight fair. We don't follow your rules. We adapt. We innovate. We turn everything into a weapon. And we never, ever surrender. The Velkarn Empire, Thelrock started. The Velkarn Empire is about to learn a lesson. Admiral Heijin said, You have something that belongs to us. 12 human crew members taken prisoner. You will release them. Immediately. And if I refuse? Thelrock asked. Then we board your ship, Heijin said simply. And trust me, Commander, you don't want that. If civilian cargo workers could make you bleed, imagine what human Marines would do. There was a long silence. Thelrock stared at the screens showing multiple human faces. All different. All determined. All ready to fight. You would risk war for 12 individuals? Thelrock asked, genuinely confused. Yes, every human answered at once. We don't leave our people behind, Taehyun said. Ever. It doesn't matter if it's 12 people or 1 person. They're ours. We protect our own. That's what humans do. Thelrock's expression shifted. Understanding dawned slowly. You care for your crew. As individuals, not as resources. Of course we do, Doctor, Yuna said. They're not just crew. They're family, friends, colleagues. Each person matters. That's another thing that makes humans different. We bond. We form connections. And we'll fight to the death to protect those connections, Woojin added quietly. The captain risked the entire ship to fight your boarding party. He could have surrendered. Could have saved the ship and let your soldiers take us. But he didn't, because we matter more to him than the ship. That's what human leadership looks like. Taehyun felt his throat tighten with emotion. His crew looked at him with respect and loyalty. They had fought together, bled together, survived together. Release the prisoners, Commander, Admiral Heijin ordered. Now, Thelrock slumped slightly in his command chair. He had lost. He knew it. They will be returned, unharmed. Wise choice, Heijin said. Now, let's discuss the future. The Velkarn Empire has 2 options. Option 1. You acknowledge that this region of space is under human protection. You withdraw your forces. You never attack human vessels again. In return, we'll establish diplomatic relations, trade agreements, mutual defense pacts with other species in the region. And option 2? Thelrock asked. Option 2 is that we treat this as an act of war, Heijin said. We hunt down every Velkarn military vessel in this sector. We make examples of them. We show every other species out here what happens when you attack humans. Then we find your home world and have a very different conversation with your government. The threat hung in the air. Taehyun could see Thelrock calculating. The commander had come here expecting an easy victory. Instead, he had lost ships, soldiers, and honor. Now he faced annihilation. There is no honor in retreat, Thelrock said quietly. There's no honor in extinction either, Sangwoo said. Your empire has conquered 73 species. We're different from them. We don't submit. We don't break. We're humans. And if you push us, we'll push back harder than you can imagine. We are persistence hunters, Dr. Yuna repeated. We will chase you across the stars if we have to. And we will not stop. Ever. Thelrock looked at the damaged steel petrel. At the human destroyers surrounding his ship. At the faces of humans who had fought against impossible odds and won. I will communicate your terms to Velkarn High Command, he said finally. But I will also tell them what I learned today. And what's that? Taehyun asked. That humans are not prey, Thelrock said. They are something far more dangerous. They are survivors who have forgotten how to quit. They turn weakness into strength. They make weapons from tools. They protect their own with ferocity that defies logic. He paused. The Velkarn Empire has conquered many species. But we have never faced one like yours. Then spread the word. Admiral Heejin said. Tell every species you meet. Tell your government. Tell your military. Humans are not to be threatened, not to be attacked, not to be underestimated. Because if you scan us and see fear, you're seeing it wrong. You're seeing the moment before we become dangerous. A shuttle launched from the Velkarn warship. It carried the 12 captured crew members. They were battered, but alive. Taehyun felt relief wash over him. Thank you, Admiral, he said to Hyjin. Thank yourself, Captain, she replied. You held them off until we arrived. Against a warship. With a cargo vessel. That takes courage. And creativity. And a lot of human stubbornness. She smiled. I'm recommending you and your crew for commendations. You showed the galaxy what humans are made of. The rescued crew members docked with the steel petrel. Dongwu and his team met them in the airlock. There were tears, embraces, relief. On the screen, Commander Thelrock watched. You truly would have sacrificed everything for them. Yes, Taehyun said simply. That's what makes us human. 3 days later, the steel petrel limped toward a human repair station. The ship looked like it had been through a war. Hull breaches were sealed with temporary patches. Scorch marks covered the exterior. One cargo bay door hung at an awkward angle. But it was flying. And the crew was alive. Taehyun sat in his captain's chair, watching the repair station grow larger on the screen. His body ached. He had not slept properly in 72 hours. But he could not rest yet. There was still work to do. Captain, Haewon said from her station. We're being hailed by the station commander. Put them through. A middle-aged man appeared on screen, wearing a station administrator's uniform. His eyes widened as he saw the damaged ship. Steel Petrel. This is Station Commander Byung-ho. We received your emergency request. What happened out there? Long story, Taehyun said tiredly. We had an encounter with an alien species called the Velkarn. They tried to board us. We disagreed with their approach. Byung-ho stared. You fought off boarders? In a cargo ship? We're human, Sang-woo said from engineering. We improvised. Docking Bay 3 is cleared for you, Byung-ho said. Medical teams are standing by. And Captain, there are some people here who want to talk to you. Military intelligence. News media. Government officials. You've caused quite a stir, Taehyun sighed. Of course we have. All right, we're coming in. Steel petrel out. The ship docked with a loud clang. The crew filed out slowly. Exhausted and battered. Medical teams rushed forward. Dr. Yuna waved them off. Treat my crew first. I'm fine. You've been awake for 3 days straight, one of the medics protested. And I'll sleep when everyone else is stable, Yuna said firmly. That's how it works. Taehyun smiled despite his exhaustion. That was his crew. Stubborn to the end. A woman in military uniform approached. She wore the insignia of a colonel. Captain Taehyun? I'm Colonel Min Seo, from Intelligence. I need to debrief you and your crew about the Velkarn encounter. Can it wait until we've slept? Taehyun asked. I'm afraid not, sir. This is a matter of galactic security. The Velkarn Empire is a major power in this region. Your encounter with them has created a diplomatic situation. Taehyun looked at his crew. They were tired. Hurt. They deserved rest. But he understood duty. Give us 2 hours. Let the crew eat, get medical treatment, and clean up. Then we'll tell you everything. Minseo nodded. 2 hours. Conference room 7. The crew scattered to various tasks. Taehyun found himself in the station's medical bay, getting his wounds treated. Nothing serious. Bruises, minor burns, a cut on his forehead that needed sealing. He was lucky. They all were. Dr. Yuna sat on the bed next to his, letting a medic check her for injuries. Captain, do you think they'll really leave us alone? The Velkarn? I don't know, Taehyun admitted. But we made them think twice. That's something. 2 hours later, the crew gathered in a conference room. Colonel Minseo sat at the head of the table with several other officers. Recording devices were active. This was official. Let's begin, Minseo said. Captain, please describe the encounter from the beginning. Taehyun told the story. The Velkarn ship appearing. The scans. The threats. The boarding action. The fight. The retreat. Admiral Hae-jin's arrival. He spoke clearly and honestly. His crew added details when needed. When he finished, the room was silent. One of the officers, a general with gray hair, leaned back in his chair. You fought off a military boarding party with cargo tools. Yes, sir, Dongwoo said. We used what we had. And you launched mining drones as attack weapons, another officer added. Sent cargo containers filled with explosives at them. Weaponized cleaning supplies. Also, yes, Songwoo confirmed. The general shook his head slowly. That's the most human thing I've ever heard. Minseo pulled up a holographic display. We've been monitoring Velkarn communications since your encounter. They're in chaos. Commander Thelrock returned to his fleet and reported everything. The Velkarn High Command held an emergency session. They're afraid. Afraid? Haewon asked. Of us? Of what you represent? Minseo said. The Velkarn have conquered dozens of species. They have a proven method. Scan the target species, analyze their weaknesses, attack with overwhelming force. It's worked every time. Until now. She brought up data on the screen. When they scanned your ship, they detected high levels of adrenaline and cortisol in the crew. Their xenobiologists concluded this indicated a prey species. A weak species. They've encountered similar readings in other species they've conquered. But they misunderstood the data, Dr. Yuna said. Completely, Minseo agreed. For humans, those hormones aren't signs of weakness. They're combat enhancers. Evolution gave us a built-in response to danger that makes us more effective fighters. The Velkarn have nothing like it. Most species they've encountered have nothing like it. The general leaned forward. Do you understand what you've done? You've shown the Velkarn that their analysis method is flawed. That their assumptions about weakness are wrong. You've made them question everything they think they know about conquering other species. Good, Taehyun said quietly. Maybe they'll think twice before attacking others. Maybe, the general said. Or maybe they'll become more aggressive. Try to eliminate the human threat before we can spread. We don't know yet. Another officer spoke up. We've also intercepted Velkarn transmissions to other species in the region. They're warning them about humans, calling us persistence predators and death world survivors. They're telling everyone that humans are dangerous. That we don't follow normal rules of combat. That we weaponize everything and never surrender. Wu Jin smiled. So we have a reputation now. You've created a legend, Minseo said. News of your encounter is spreading across multiple species communication networks. Some alien governments are requesting diplomatic contact with humanity. Others are demanding we stay away from their territory. You've made us famous. And infamous. All we did was survive, Taehyun said. Exactly, the general said. You survived against impossible odds using nothing but human ingenuity and stubbornness. And that terrifies some species. Because if a cargo crew can do that, what can human military forces do? A valid question, Minseo said. The Velkarn High Command sent a formal communication to Earth's government yesterday. They're proposing a non-aggression treaty. They want to establish clear borders. They want assurances that humans won't expand into their territory aggressively. They're afraid of us, Haewon said, wonder in her voice. They respect you, the general corrected. There's a difference. Fear alone doesn't create treaties. Respect does. You showed them that humans are dangerous when threatened but rational enough to negotiate. That's powerful. Tae-hyun thought about Commander Thelrock. About the look in his eyes when he realized humans wouldn't surrender. When he understood that the scans had been wrong. What happens now? He asked. Now we negotiate, Min Seo said. Earth's diplomatic corps is already in contact with the Velkarn. We're establishing formal relations, trade agreements, mutual defense discussions. Other species in the region are watching closely. What you did opened doors that would have taken decades to open through normal diplomatic channels. We just wanted to stay alive, Sang-woo said. And in doing so, you changed everything, the general said. He stood and looked at each crew member in turn. You're heroes. Whether you wanted to be or not. The story of the Steel Petrel will be told for generations. The cargo ship that fought a warship and won. The crew that showed the galaxy what humans are capable of. We're not special, Dong-woo protested. Any human crew would have done the same. Exactly, Min Seo said softly. And that's what makes it terrifying to other species. You're not elite soldiers. Not specially trained warriors. You're ordinary humans. And you're this dangerous. Imagine what that implies about our species as a whole. The meeting ended shortly after. The crew was released to get proper rest. Tae-hyun walked slowly to the quarters assigned to him on the station. His body felt like lead. His mind was foggy with exhaustion. But before he could sleep, his communicator chimed. It was a message from Admiral Hae-jin. Captain Tae-hyun, I wanted to inform you personally. The Velkarn Empire has officially updated their species classification database. They've categorized humans as a Tier 1 apex species and added a warning to all military vessels. Do not engage humans unless absolutely necessary. They interpret conflict as an evolutionary test and will not stop until they achieve victory or face extinction. Approach with extreme caution. Tae-hyun read the message twice. Then he started laughing. It was exhausted, slightly hysterical laughter, but he could not stop. Haewon appeared in his doorway. Captain? Are you all right? He showed her the message. She read it and started laughing too. Soon, the whole crew was gathered in the corridor, reading the message and laughing together. They think we're apex predators, Woojin said, between laughs. We're cargo haulers, Miran added. We're humans, Dr. Yuna said. Maybe that's the same thing. 3 months later, the Steel Petrel was fully repaired and back in service. The ship looked new, though the crew insisted on keeping a few scorch marks as souvenirs. Tae-hyun stood on the bridge as they prepared to depart the station. Where to, Captain? Woojin asked. Tae-hyun looked at the star map. Their normal trade route was marked. But new routes were opening up. Species that had heard about their encounter wanted to meet them, to trade with them, to see these human persistence predators for themselves. Same route as always, Tae-hyun said. We're cargo haulers. That's what we do. With one difference, Haewon said. She pointed at the screen. New markers showed Velkarn territory boundaries. Clear borders. Agreed upon neutral zones. The Velkarn ships were avoiding human vessels now. They learned their lesson, Dongwoo said. They scanned the wrong species, Songwoo added with a grin. The Steel Petrel undocked and moved away from the station. As they accelerated toward their destination, Ji-woo received a transmission. It was from Commander Thelrock. This is unexpected, Tae-hyun said. Put it through. Thelrock's face appeared on screen. He looked different. More thoughtful. Less arrogant. Captain Tae-hyun, the Velkarn commander said. I wanted to contact you personally, to thank you. Thank me? Tae-hyun asked, surprised. For what? For teaching me something important, Thelrock said. The Velkarn Empire has conquered many species. We thought we understood all types of intelligent life. But we were wrong. You showed me that strength comes in many forms, that survival instinct can be more powerful than military training. That underestimating an opponent is the greatest mistake a commander can make. I'm glad you learned something, Taehyun said carefully. I have been promoted, Thelrock continued. I now train new Velkarn commanders, and the first lesson I teach them is about humans. About the day I scanned a cargo ship and found warriors. About the day I learned that evolution creates predators in many forms. Your species is unique, Captain. Dangerous but honorable. Strong but merciful. The galaxy is better for having humans in it. The transmission ended. The crew looked at each other in silence. Well, Haewon finally said. That was unexpected. Humans, Doctor, Yuna said thoughtfully. We don't just survive. We change things. We make enemies into allies. We turn combat into diplomacy. Maybe that's our real superpower. Taehyun looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Velkarn Empire was changing its policies because of them. Other species were reconsidering their views on humanity. The galaxy was different now, all because a cargo crew refused to surrender. Set course for the outer colonies, Taehyun ordered. We have supplies to deliver. It's just another day being human, Sangwoo said with a smile. The steel petrel jumped to faster-than-light travel, disappearing into the stars. Behind them, the word spread across 1,000 worlds. Humans were not prey. They were survivors. Persistence predators who turned tools into weapons, who never surrendered, who protected their own with impossible ferocity. They had scanned the human ship and chosen the wrong species to challenge. And the galaxy would remember.